They don't call me Perez Adamas for nothing. Hello, my fam. It is Perez, the queen of all media, the original influencer. And earlier today, I predicted that Britney Jean Spears would clap back at her ex-husband, Kevin Federline, and his upcoming memoir. And I was right. She just has. But before we get to that, we've got him. Kevin Federline is spilling even more tea, and this time it's got to do with her first real love, Justin Timberlake. The Oops, I Did It Again icon married K-Fed in September of 2004. 2 years before that, she and JT called it quits. But now, according to her baby daddy, on the eve before her wedding day, she called up Timberlake. In a new interview with Entertainment Tonight, Federline says, "I was like, what's wrong? I thought she was talking to her mom on the phone or something, and maybe she was having doubts. And she told me she was on the phone with Justin." Red flag. Babe, that was doubts. Babe, she was not over him. She was not that into you. And he didn't care. He just cared about her money. And he got a lot of it until his kids turned 18. And now we're getting his memoir out next week. K-Fed reassured Britney that there was no pressure to tie the knot if she was having doubts. Quote, "I just kind of stepped back like, did I just hear you right? What the hell was going on? And I immediately was, okay, we don't have to do this. I didn't care if we got married or not. And she told me no, and really was like, I just wanted to make sure that everything is done. I want to make sure that I say my final piece." Why? She was about to marry her love. Love. I'm like, damn, says K-Fed. On the night before our wedding, this is what you decide to do? If only she had not gone through with it. Federline said he took it with a grain of salt at the time and rationalized her explanation by telling himself that she was likely closing a chapter of her life. Her baby daddy continues, "I was super young. I was so madly in love at that moment. I couldn't imagine what it was like to be her. I couldn't imagine what it was like to be Justin in those moments because they were super young and super successful." You're talking teenagers that had to go through this globally, and I know that they really cared about each other back then. K-Fed added that he felt as though Britney was not over her relationship with Timberlake at the time. You don't say. In her memoir that came out a couple of years ago, Britney wrote about getting pregnant with JT's baby, but him pressuring her to get rid of it, which she did. She wrote, "If it had been left up to me alone, I never would have done it. And yet Justin was so sure that he didn't want to be a father." Speaking of fathers, her baby daddy says that money is not the reason he is writing this tell-all book. Instead, he says, "I'm doing this now because I wanted to make sure that my children were old enough to understand what I'm doing. Everything has always been about my family. And that's what people don't really realize. is that every step that I've taken has been for the benefit of my children. And my children are ready for me to tell my story. It should be noted that Kevin Federline has 6 children. Prolific. Well, Britney's publicist has given the press a statement saying in response to K-Fed's memoir, with news from Kevin's book breaking, once again, he and others are profiting off her, and sadly, it comes after child support has ended with Kevin. Fact. Britney's rep continues. All she cares about are her kids, Sean Preston and Jaden James, and their well-being during this sensationalism. She detailed her journey in her memoir. Pick it up. I added that. Justin Timberlake has so far remained silent on these new revelations, and he ain't gonna say shh. In the spirit of fairness, it should be added that Timberlake has previously apologized to Britney and Janet Jackson. Back in 2021, at the height of the Free Britney movement, around the time that the New York Times came out with their documentary about her, Timberlake took to social media to say the following. I've seen the messages, tags, comments, and concerns, and I want to respond. I am deeply sorry for the times in my life where my actions contributed to the problem, where I spoke out of turn or did not speak up for what was right. I understand that I fell short in these moments and in many others and benefited from a system that condones misogyny and racism. He did specifically mention Britney, saying, I specifically want to apologize to Britney Spears and Janet Jackson both individually because I care for and respect these women and I know I failed. I also feel compelled to respond in part because everyone involved deserves better and most importantly, because this is a larger conversation that I wholeheartedly want to be a part of and grow from. The industry is flawed. It sets men, especially white men, up for success. It's designed this way. As a man in a privileged position, I have to be vocal about this because of my ignorance. I didn't recognize it for all it was while it was happening in my own life, but I do not want to ever benefit from others being pulled down again. I have not been perfect in navigating all of this throughout my career. I know this apology is a first step and doesn't absolve the past. I want to take accountability for my own missteps in all of this, as well as be part of a world that uplifts and supports. I care deeply about the well-being of the people I love and have loved. I can do better, and I will do better. It should be noted that Timberlake has not left that post up. It's deleted. Well, that was in 2021, that apology. After Britney released her memoir in 2023, Justin Timberlake said in concert, I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize to absolutely nobody. And Britney responded to that, remember? She took to social media to say, somebody told me someone was talking about me on the streets. Do you want to bring it to the court or will you go home crying to your mom like you did last time? I'm not sorry. Well, Britney has taken to her social media herself today after all the K-Fed headlines, including the ones I told you about earlier. K-Fed's excerpt from his memoir talking about her and the knives and their kids, him worrying that things are not going to end well for her. Well, I'm going to read this in real time. Britney said the following on her I to the G. This is her first post in 3 days. I have not read this until right now. She says, and she always does this, when she has something important to say, she does it in roundabout ways. I expect the same will be true here. Timberlake's ex-girlfriend, Kevin Federline's baby mama, says, the ocean will always remain a mystery to us all, and the secrets that are left to find. There is so much we still don't know or have yet to discover. That's how vast and beautiful Mother Nature is. Useless information to some, but I am actually very interested. The unknown and undiscovered all comes with imagination, really. Was it manifested or is it real? Even Santa Claus, is he fake or real, boys and girls? P.S. Honor thy mother and father, but always protect your heart. Only honor them if they have sacredly honored you. If not, you find a new family. Okay. Well, this is a lot. And if you want to stay informed and entertained, I post a lot on my website every day. Check us throughout the day. P to the E to the R to the E to the Z to the H to the I to the L to the T to the O to the N.com, myname.com. Also, check out my merch. I have a lot of fabulous collections. Buypopstuff.com. That's buypopstuff.com. I also love making personalized videos for you all. Book one from me right now on the Cameo website at cameo.com/P to the E to the R to the E to the Z to the H to the I to the L to the T to the O to the N. And if you enjoy my podcast, you can get an exclusive episode a week on our Patreon. Sign up today at patreon.com/P to the E to the R to the E to the Z to the H to the I to the L to the T to the O to the N. If you watched until the end, you are the superstars of my fam. You are the 1%. Hit that like button, share this video, and say, okay, in the comments section. Okay. Thoughts on everything? That call before her wedding? Thoughts? Thoughts on K-Fed claiming he's not doing this for money? Let's discuss down below, okay?